premiering in 1996. Everybody Loves Raymond became a massive hit, turning daily family arguments into absolute comedy gold. For nearly 10 years, people cracked up watching Ray, Deborah, Marie, Frank, and the rest of the Barone family. But when the cameras stopped rolling, the cast's real lives took some pretty wild turns. Some found more success, others faced heavy personal struggles, and a few left behind unforgettable legacies. So, what actually happened to the stars of Everybody Loves Raymond after the show wrapped? Here is a look at their lives today, way before streaming and social media completely changed TV. Ray Romano instantly connected with viewers as Ray Barone, the sports writer caught between his wife and his meddling family. At 39, Romano drew heavily from his own life. Father. Being a real-life husband and father made the character feel incredibly authentic. The show's massive success launched him from stand-up comedy straight to being one of TV's biggest stars. Instead of fading away after the sitcom ended, he pivoted. He took on dramatic roles in Parenthood and Made for Love, shocking fans who only knew him for comedy. Crazy, right? 68. Romano is still acting and enjoying family life, showing his career is just as steady as the guy he played. Deborah Barone was always keeping the peace between her husband and his interfering family, and Patricia Heaton nailed the role. She became one of TV's most relatable wives. 38. Heaton brought incredible comedic timing and real warmth. She made Deborah a massive fan favorite over the show's 9-season run, winning multiple Emmys and establishing herself as a true powerhouse. That performance cemented her as one of the most respected actresses in TV comedy. 4. While other sitcom stars struggled after their shows ended, Heaton stayed on our screens, starring in the hit series The Middle. 68. She is still busy acting, producing, and doing charity work, forever tied to one of the greatest family shows ever. Standing well over 6 feet tall, Brad Garrett was impossible to miss as Big Brother Robert Barone. He was the overlooked cop constantly living in Ray's shadow. At 36, he brought something special. Garrett used his booming voice and perfect comedic instincts to turn Robert's insecurities into total comedy gold. Those hilarious moments made him a household name. But his talents went way beyond the sitcom. Over the years, he carved out a massive career doing voice acting, doing stand-up, acting, and voicing characters in massive animated movies now at 66. Garrett is still performing stand-up, proving that the exact same humor and charisma that made Robert so lovable are still going strong. They are still a huge part of his life today. Nobody on the show could weaponize a guilt trip quite like Marie Barone, with her endless meddling. Her sharp backhanded compliments and fierce love for her family made Doris Roberts absolutely unforgettable. She became the ultimate sitcom mom, despite already being a highly respected actress. Joining the cast at 71, Raymond introduced her to a whole new generation of fans. It won her multiple Emmys. Off-camera, Roberts was incredibly warm and generous, completely different from her pushy character. Everyone loved her. She kept working in movies and TV long after the series ended, making appearances well into her final years. Doris Roberts passed away on April 17, 2016, at 90 years old after suffering a stroke. She left behind an incredible 60-year career. Then there was Frank Barone. He never missed a chance to roast his family, and Peter Boyle made him one of TV's funniest dads ever. Joining the show at 61, Boyle brought decades of serious acting experience to the table. He already had massive praise for classics like Young Frankenstein and Joe. His sharp comedic timing and incredible chemistry with the cast. Doris Roberts became a cornerstone of the show's success. Off-screen, Boyle was known as a thoughtful, respected actor who built a career that stretched across film, television, and theater. Even after Raymond ended, his work kept bringing in new fans through reruns and streaming. Passed away on December 12, 2006 at age 71 from complications of multiple myeloma and heart disease. Amy McDougal entered Farman. Everybody loves Raymond as Robert's sweet, patient love interest, but Monica Horan slowly shaped the character into an essential piece of the family dynamic. 4. Introduced in 1997, when Horan was 34, Amy eventually grew into one of the most beloved recurring characters on the show. Many fans are surprised. Find out Horan is married to show creator Philip Rosenthal, giving her a special tie to the comedy's success behind the scenes. Fun. Though she never chased the same level of fame as other sitcom stars, she kept acting on television and occasionally met up with former castmates for reunions. Now 63 years old, Horan remains deeply connected to the legacy of Everybody Loves Raymond, still loving to share memories from one of TV's most successful family comedies. Andy might not have been in every single episode of the show, but his dry wit and easygoing friendship with Ray made him a familiar face to dedicated viewers. Played by Andy Kindler, starting at age 40, the character often delivered some of the show's most relatable moments, especially while hanging out at Nemo's bar. Unlike most sitcom actors, Kindler made his name as a stand-up comedian, gaining popularity for his sharp roasts of the entertainment industry. He also built a strong reputation through comedy festival appearances and various television guest roles. Now 69 years old, Kindler still performs stand-up and remains active in comedy, proving his sharp humor goes way beyond the single role that introduced him to millions of TV fans. John Manfrotati brought a ton of energy to Everybody Loves Raymond as Gianni, Robert's loud, often unlucky buddy. Even though Gianni was not part of the core family, Gianni became a familiar face through his hilarious scenes and great chemistry with the Barones. Manfrotati was 44 when he first joined the show, already boasting a solid career in TV guest roles and films. Outside of Raymond, he popped up in projects like The Sopranos and other gritty crime dramas, becoming one of those familiar faces audiences constantly recognized on screen. Unlike actor peers chasing leading roles, he carved out a great career playing colorful supporting parts. Now 73, Manfrotati is still fondly remembered by sitcom fans while keeping a low profile compared to most major TV stars. Bernie Gruenfelder did not appear in nearly as many episodes as the central family, but Tom McGowan's performance made him an unforgettable part of the show. Joining the cast at 37, McGowan was already a highly respected actor with rich experience across stage, film, and television. Many viewers later recognized him from appearances in Frasier, Murphy Brown, several big Hollywood films. What makes his career so fascinating is how steadily he worked across genres, shifting easily from comedy to heavy drama. Instead of getting boxed into one specific role, he earned a reputation as a highly reliable character actor. At 67, McGowan stays active in show business and continues, taking on occasional TV, film, and theater gigs. As Lois Whelan, Katherine Hellman played Ray's sophisticated mother-in-law, bringing elegance, sharp wit, and unexpected chaos whenever she dropped in on the show. By the time she joined the cast at 67, Hellman was already a certified television legend. Millions of fans knew her from Soap, and later from Who's the Boss, where she became a truly beloved sitcom icon. Her acting career spanned more than 5 decades, covering work across television, film, theater, and even voice roles. Hellman stayed active late in life, admired for her incredible range and longevity. She passed away on February 23, 2019, at the age of 89 from complications of Alzheimer's disease, leaving behind one of the industry's most legendary careers. Fred Willard brought unforgettable energy to Everybody Loves Raymond as Hank McDougal, Amy's eccentric father and one half of the show's most entertaining couples. Joining the show in 2003 at age 70, Willard quickly became a fan favorite as Hank. He brought awkward stories, endless enthusiasm, and hilarious chemistry with the Barone family. Long before Raymond, he built a massive comedy career across television, movies, and improv, scoring several Emmy nominations. Farm, even in his older years. Fawn. Willard remained one of Hollywood's most recognizable comedy actors. Sadly, he passed away on May 15, 2020, at age 86 from natural causes. His talent for making people laugh in any scene made Hank McDougal one, fond of the absolute best recurring characters on the show. Forja Engel's soft voice and sweet personality made Pat McDougal one of the show's most unique characters. Joining in 2003 at age 55, Pat seemed completely sweet and innocent, but her funniest moments came from the hilarious, unexpected dynamic with her husband Hank. 4. Fans loved the character, and Engel's comedic chemistry with Fred Willard became a massive highlight of the later seasons. Fawn. Outside of Raymond, she was already famous for her roles on The Mary Tyler Moore Show and Coach, scoring multiple Emmy nominations throughout her life. Georgia Engel passed away on April 12, 2019, at age 70. Her warmth, genuine kindness, and unique comedic style left a lasting impression on generations of TV fans. Hardly any guest stars caused more trouble for Ray and Deborah than Linda Gruenfelder, the overly friendly neighbor, whose awkward behavior led to one of the show's cringiest storylines. Farn. Maggie Wheeler played the character back in 1996, delivering the exact same comedic spark that later made her iconic as Janice on Friends. Form. Even though her run on the show was short, fans remember Linda for the pure awkwardness and tension she brought to every scene. Wheeler kept building a great television career, with roles in tons of sitcoms and dramas over the years. Now 65 years old, she is still highly active in the industry, and regularly talks about the memorable roles she has played over a career spanning more than 4 decades. Robert Culp appeared as Deborah's father, Warren, bringing a dry wit and effortless confidence to the role. When he joined the show in 2003 at age 66, Culp was already a major television legend with decades of experience. Many viewers recognized him from the hit series I Spy, which made him one of TV's most recognizable faces. Even in a smaller supporting role, he knew exactly how to command attention whenever he stepped on screen. Outside of Raymond, Culp kept acting deep into his later years, while also writing and directing. Sadly, his incredible career ended unexpectedly when he passed away on March 24, 2010, at age 79 after a fall near his home farm. Chris Elliott joined the show in 1996 as Peter McDougal, Amy's highly awkward and bizarre brother. His weird behavior and offbeat humor made Peter one of the show's absolute best recurring characters. Elliott was famous for his eccentric comedy long before he ever showed up on Raymond, having already built a great career in TV, film, and late-night comedy. Some viewers found Peter hilariously unpredictable, while others thought he was the absolute strangest character on the series, making him even more unforgettable. Besides acting, Elliott has written books, created shows, and kept performing for decades. Now 66 years old, he stays active in entertainment and is still loved for his unique comedic style that made Peter McDougal such a standout character. Stan, the owner of Nemo's restaurant, was a minor character, but Victor Raderwexler made every single appearance count. Farn, truly, first. Appearing in 1996 at age 53, Stan became a highly familiar background face in several memorable scenes with Ray and his buddies. Rader-Wexler built a huge career as a character actor, landing roles in dozens of TV shows and movies before and after his Raymond run. Most people might not know his name, but chances are they have seen him in dozens of roles over the decades. Unlike other actors who chased lead roles, he found success as one of Hollywood's most reliable supporting players. At 82 in 2026, Rader-Wexler still gets remembered by comedy fans for bringing real grit and laughs to the chaotic world of Everybody Loves Raymond. He was the only one. For hosting his own show, Kevin James crashed Everybody Loves Raymond in a hilarious guest spot as a guy named Kevin, just a buddy of Ray and the guys. It was a minor part, but you could already spot that raw, natural comedy style that would eventually turn him into a household name on television. Fawn. Back then, James was tearing up the stand-up scene and turning heads with quick TV spots. Things quickly took off when The King of Queens turned into a massive hit, running for 9 seasons. From there, he made the leap into movies, headlining big comedies like Paul Blart Mall Cop and Grown Ups. Now 61, James is still working hard in comedy, staying a familiar face for both TV fans and moviegoers. True fans of the show probably remember Sergeant Judy as one of those brief background characters. But the actual woman playing her was headed for some serious, long-term success. For Sherry Shepherd took the gig at 31, back when she was still grinding in stand-up and chasing TV parts. Over the next few years, she became a constant face on screen, popping up in endless sitcoms, fun talk shows. Her huge break came on The View, where her loud, funny personality made her an instant favorite with fans. Fun. She never hid her personal struggles either, opening up about health scares and family drama that made her feel incredibly real to viewers. Now 50 in, she is still crushing it in television comedy and daytime talk. Hardly anyone on the show was as painfully awkward and memorable as Gerard Roberts' weird buddy. Fred Stoller played him to perfection, using a deadpan style that made the most cringe moments utterly hilarious. Fun. Way before booking that gig at 40, Stoller had already made his mark as a veteran comic and writer. He was incredibly busy. Fun. He wrote for major TV shows while booking guest spots on endless sitcoms through the 90s and 2000s. Fan. Instead of chasing the spotlight, Stoller built a solid career by becoming one of the most reliable character actors around. Fodden. Today at 68, he is still performing, writing, and sharing wild behind-the-scenes stories from his decades in the business, working on legendary comedy shows. Charles Durning played Father Hubley, the warm, level-headed priest who kept the Barone family grounded when things got a little too intense. When he first joined the show in 2000, Durning was already an absolute legend with 50 years of acting under his belt. And his real life was even crazier than any movie. He fought in World War II, survived brutal combat wounds, and went on to become one of the most respected actors in town. People knew him from endless films. But he brought that same legendary work ethic to every single role, big or small. Durning passed away from natural causes on December 24, 2012, at 89. His time on the show was just one more incredible chapter in a truly legendary run. Then there was Marco Faganello, Marie's loudmouthed Italian relative, and actor David Proval made sure the character felt incredibly real. Even though his guest spot was short, fans instantly knew his face from other big projects. Way before that, Proval had carved out a great career playing scary, tough guys across movies and TV. But his biggest role came later as the terrifying Richie Aprile on The Sopranos, a legendary performance that introduced him to millions and gave TV one of its absolute best villains. Outside of acting, Proval found himself getting into photography and writing. At 84 years old now, he still pops up occasionally and remains a familiar face for fans of classic TV and crime dramas. Stefania brought that classic Italian charm straight to the Barone family, and Alex Meneses made her unforgettable with all that warmth and natural charisma. Farn. Cast at 35, she joined the show after making a name for herself in television and modeling. Forn. Her time on the sitcom was short, but it put her on the map just as her career was really starting to take off. Meneses later appeared in various TV shows, including several hit sitcoms and dramas, proving she was a versatile performer. While other actors faded away after a couple of roles, she kept working steadily in the business for years. Now 61, Meneses is still active and occasionally connects with fans through public events and media projects. Angelina only showed up in a few episodes of Everybody Loves Raymond, but Tina Arning made sure her performance left a real mark on fans. Just 28 when she joined the show, Arning was working her way up by guest starring on several hit sitcoms and dramas of that era. Even if she never hit A-list status, she stayed a very familiar face on TV throughout the late 1990s and early 2000s. Outside of acting, she expanded her interests, writing, and other creative projects. Instead of constantly chasing the spotlight, Arning chose a quieter path while still working in the business.
Now,
57. She mostly keeps her personal life private and only makes occasional public appearances. Fawn. To many viewers, Ali Barone was the sensible kid caught right in the middle of all those crazy family arguments. Madeline Sweeten was only 5 years old when Everybody Loves Raymond first aired, basically growing up on screen over its 9-season run. Unlike most kid actors, she spent almost her whole childhood working on a massive hit TV show. When the sitcom wrapped up, Sweeten kept acting in indie movies, television projects, theater, quietly building a career away from the crazy spotlight that usually follows child stars. She has also opened up about the heavy struggles her family faced after her brother and co-star Sawyer Sweeten tragically died in 2015. Today in 2026, Madeline Sweeten is 35 and still works as an actress and producer. Femi Aquino brought Peggy, Deborah Barone's close friend, to life with a great mix of confidence, humor, and honesty. Fun. Even though she did not join Everybody Loves Raymond until 2002 at age 45, Aquino was already incredibly familiar to TV audiences thanks to a long career of standout supporting roles. Instead of being known for just one role, she became one of television's most reliable character actors, showing up in hit series like VR Judging Amy and Bosch. She could make even tiny roles feel completely real, standing out in every scene. Now 69 years old, Aquino still works steadily in movies and TV, while staying very active in union groups that support fellow actors. Phil Leeds played Uncle Mel, bringing decades of experience and a natural comedic spark to Everybody Loves Raymond. By the time he joined the cast in 1996 at age 80, Leeds had already spent over 50 years in show business, working in films, television, and commercials. Most viewers recognized his face even if they couldn't place his name. Proof of just how often he popped up on screen during his career. His stint on Raymond was short but memorable, fitting right into the show's family humor. Sadly, Phil Leeds passed away on August 16, 1998, at 82. Long before the modern sitcom era, he had already made a name for himself as one of Hollywood's most dependable, hard-working character actors. Years after the finale, Everybody Loves Raymond is still a fan favorite for anyone who loves relatable humor and unforgettable characters. While some of the cast still work in entertainment and others are sadly gone, but their incredible work helped build one of TV's most legendary sitcoms. So, which actor's story caught you off guard, and who was your absolute favorite character? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you liked this video, go ahead and hit subscribe. Stick around as we check out more of TV's legendary casts.